All right, what's good, everybody? So I said that I was going to upload another video today talking about some other things aside from the playbook stuff, and I really appreciate the support on those playbooks. Tomorrow or the next playbook, I'll probably jump into defense. I got several requests to cover a defensive playbook, so we'll take a pause on the offense tomorrow and we'll cover a defensive playbook. The request that I've been seeing the most is the 4-2-5. So I would say, guys, defensively, get that in, okay? The one that's most requested, that's the one we'll go with first. So for this video, all right, I presented a question in the comments tab. It's still there if you want to go and comment on it. But at this point, let's just keep the comments to this video. So would you like hit stick in the game, but with the chance of targeting, risk versus reward system? Okay. And while I don't have footage for this, guys, you can go to YouTube and type in NCAA 14 hit stick. You can look at college plays of hit sticks. I don't really want to show a lot of that because I don't want to get demonetized. Like, you work hard to put in the time for this channel. You want to keep your revenue. You got me? So stick with me. All right. It's not going to be a long video, but stick with me. So my idea is this, because hit stick is a prominent thing in video games. It was really prominent back in 2005's Madden, where Ray Lewis would hit stick you and you was almost guaranteed to fumble. Targeting became a rule in 2008 in college football. It gained more prominence later. So by the time NCAA 14 was out, it did have some ground. But we see it a lot more now. It's a bigger deal now. Okay. But with that being said, there is no NCAA umbrella over this game. There is also no ESPN umbrella over this game. So unlike Madden, EA Sports has the freedom to do what thou wilt, if you understand what I'm saying. And, there's rumors circulating that, you could possibly see helmets get knocked off. While I don't think that's the case, I do think the door is open for bringing back some of those big hits. The biggest hit that I recall watching was when Jadeveon Clowney hit the running back from Michigan. That was huge. And you can go through college football and you can see a plethora of big time hits. Like, it's football. You have some legit big time hits. Now, before targeting was a thing, yeah, you had more savage, brutal blows. But since even with targeting, you still get some big hits. Big hits is a big deal, okay? It actually used to be a part of the game where it would change the momentum of a game. In the video games I'm talking. And in real life, a big hit will bring life to a team, okay? Same way a truck stick will on offense. A big hit will bring life to the team. Now, EA has since updated their hit sticks to where you can do a high hit stick, but the risk is they break the tackle. You could do a low hit stick, but the risk is they hurdle you. You know what I'm saying? I would love, and I play on PlayStation, and even now in Madden, I've become a better tackler by squaring up to the ball carrier and doing a low hit stick. If I'm on the secondary, I square up with the R2 button. What that does is makes your character square up, and then I do a low hit stick. The tackle success rate is almost 85 to 90%. Okay. I may be higher than that. I may be being generous on that. The high hit stick, while it's effective, let's be honest, guys, it just doesn't bring the boom like a hit stick should. You get what I'm saying? If we're going to have a hit stick in the game, it should be like it was early on where you would just annihilate a guy. You know what I'm saying? Bring that back because it's a hit stick. It's a risk versus reward system. I'm going for this big hit, but in return, I can miss a tackle because why? I'm not wrapping up. Even in Madden right now, when you do your adjustments, and they had it in college football. Well, did they have it in college football? Nah. Yeah, they did. I think they had it in NCAA 14, if I'm not mistaken. Or I know for a fact it was in Madden, where you can adjust to where your players are more likely to do big hits. And it tells you the risk versus reward. The risk is more broken tackles. Okay? So, to bring more emphasis back, because like I said, EA, without the umbrella of the NCAA and ESPN, they have the freedom to bring big hits into the game. I'm not talking about arcade NFL blitz style hits. Let's be realistic here, but you got the opportunity to bring in some big hits back into the college football game and make people feel it. You know what I'm saying? So the thing that I was really interested in is, hey, because targeting hasn't been a rule in any football game. Targeting is not even in Madden, okay? All because of what? Concussions, head hits, head injuries, and things like that. I think it would be crazy dope if EA Sports not only put targeting into the game, okay, but made it tied into the hit stick system, okay? And you might say, DM, I don't like the idea of that because I don't want to go for a hit stick and then get a targeting call. Risk versus reward, my guy. You can change the momentum of the game with a big hit. Even more so, a big hit that causes a fumble that you recover. Even more so, a big hit that causes a fumble that you recover for a touchdown to win the game. I think the risk versus reward is there. So how would I get this to work out to where it isn't so quote unquote random? You know what I'm saying? Here's how you do it. And this will also tie into the composure system and the wear and tear system. All right. Player ratings should matter. Everybody agrees on that, correct? So hear me out. I have two linebackers, two middle linebackers. Okay. Two different teams. One of them has let's say a 90 awareness, has a 85 plus tackle. The other one has a 75 awareness with a 80 tackle. All right. Linebacker A with the 85 awareness, 80 or the 90 overall awareness with the higher awareness, the higher tackle rating. He's going to be a big hitter. Big hit is up there. The rating for big hit, make that a stat. Big hit should be a stat, a rating. Put that up there. Note that also when you go into Madden to create a character, you go down to penalty. Okay. And you can either put it on discipline, ideal, or undisciplined. And I want to say maybe this was a deal in early college football. I really can't remember the creative character feature in that game. Maybe it was just a Madden feature, but I have to digress. More than likely, it'll be in college football as well. So with that being said, if a player, first off, the first contribute to this, if a player is undisciplined on his penalty rating and you go for a hit stick, he's more likely to get a targeting penalty. Why? Because he's undisciplined. If that same player has a ideal on his penalty rating, then the chance of him getting a hit stick should be lower. Other factors that tie into this should be the ratings. If I have a linebacker A that has a high tackle rating, he has high awareness rating, and he has an ideal for his penalties. This is a player who is very disciplined and skilled. So him going for a big hit, while I'm not saying that a targeting shouldn't ever happen, the chances of it should be extremely low. Whereas opposed to the other guy with a lower awareness and maybe an ideal discipline, while he may not get it he may get it more frequently than linebacker A, he's still not going to get it as much as a linebacker with 70 or 60 something awareness and undisciplined. Does that make sense? So make it a tier system. That way, your big-time linebackers are big-time linebackers. What makes a big-time linebacker, or even a safety for that matter, is if they are disciplined and they will hit you in the mouth. People feared guys like Ray Lewis because Ray Lewis was extremely disciplined and Ray Lewis would peel your muffin cap back blue. So add that same feature into the game, and this will also help. Like they said, those 5 stars are going to stand out above those 2 stars. This could be exactly how that could play out in the game. Your 5-star defensive players who have good awareness, they're disciplined, and they have great stats to match. Those are the ones that should be less likely to get, and I'm not saying a 5-star could be bad in penalties. I'm just giving an example, okay? A 5-star compared to a 2-star. His stats are higher most of the time. If he's a disciplined 5-star at that, hit stick should be less likely to trigger a targeting call. All right. Vice versa, that 2-star, his ratings aren't that high, and he's not as disciplined, should be more prone to get a targeting call if he performs a hit stick. And it's not to say that this will happen a lot, okay? You could put the percentage of this happening very low. Think of it similar to defensive pass interference. I mean, offensive pass interference. This penalty is in every football game, yet how many times have you seen it called? You get what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have it be that rare, but close to it, because this past season, you haven't seen a whole lot of targeting calls. Why? Because teams are getting better at tackling and things like that. You're still seeing big hits, not as many targeting calls. Also, you see them for review, okay? So I think that it would be very interesting if you implemented a hit stick, because that would be big. How would it tie into composure? How would it tie into wear and tear? Well, glad you asked. That 5-star linebacker with great penalty discipline and high stats, guess what? If his composure is bad and he's tired, wear and tear, he's more prone. That ideal penalty stat drops to maybe an undisciplined, okay, or maybe a discipline. Make it drop a tier. When these players are tired, their penalty stats should drop a tier. Now, we know that that's not a rating when you go in to look at the players, but maybe it should be, that we can see it. Like, hey, this offensive tackle, he's tired. He's normally a disciplined player, or his discipline is normally ideal. Now it's standard or normal. And if they're normal, it drops down to undisciplined. Maybe make it drop a tier when they're out of composure and tired. You get what I'm saying? And then make it so that if a player, a linebacker, is his composure, he's not composed, he's rattled for some reason in the game, and he's tired, that he's more likely to get a targeting call if he goes for a hit stick. Guys, I don't know anybody that would argue that, because that is extremely realistic. When players are tired in football games, the biggest difference between the great players and the average players are the great players, when they're tired, they still perform to a high level. The average players, when they are tired, their technique goes to crap. And it would make sense that if you go in for a big hit with a tired linebacker, secondary back, whoever, DN, and they're not composed and they're tired on top of that, that you're more likely, hey, risk versus reward, that hit stick might work and you good and you boost his composure and all of that stuff. Or because he's tired, because he's not composed, you're more likely to get a targeting call. Does that make sense? Plus, when people tired anyway, what are you going to do? You're not going to try to go for a big hit. You're going to try to go for a secure tackle. You get what I'm saying? So it plays into a real life aspect in that sense, that your more disciplined players or more skilled players are less likely to get a targeting call, you know what I'm saying, than your undisciplined players, because you got some studs out there that's extremely undisciplined, and there's some dirty players. We've all seen it in football. We've all seen it on TV, watching football as well. And you got those players that are extremely disciplined, they're well skilled, and you never see them with a targeting call because their technique is so darn good. And you don't see them going for big hits late in the game. You most of the time see those types of players anyway going for a secure tackle, because a big hit, let's be honest, if you're going for a big hit, most of the time, those guys aren't wrapping up. They're just trying to lay a shoulder into a receiver running across the middle. You get what I'm saying? And I know that that's not legal anymore. You know, can't hit a defenseless receiver. But I'm just using that analogy for perspective, if that makes sense. So that would be my idea on the hit stick, making it more palatable into the game. If I land a hit stick, now the guy that I hit, his composure drops. You know, it's going to fatigue him a little bit more. So that's adding wear and tear to that player. I think those things, those attributes could be extremely beneficial to the game. It could add a level of depth to the defense, because let's be honest, offense has a big risk. It has a lot of risk versus reward type of systems in it. Defense, not so much, man. So I think bringing the hit stick back would be good. But like I said, as far as targeting goes, it should only be on the high hit stick, because that's the one that's the biggest. That's the one that's more likely to cause a fumble. We've seen players fumble sometimes from a low hit stick, but it's not that common. Okay, so in the comment section down below, let me know what you think about that idea. And as far as the other thing that I said I wanted to show you, Everything EA College Football posted this yesterday. Could the slow-mo reaction time be making a comeback in Road to Glory? And he shows an example of it here. Remember this, whenever you were in the zone, you can slow everything down, and it just makes you read everything better. Your reaction time is a lot faster, even though he almost throws an interception right here because of it. We have to digress. But this is what really caught my interest. This looks like it's directly from College Football 25. But the interesting thing about it is this doesn't look like a menu. This looks like the PlayStation menu. It's weird when you go into the stuff on the game. It normally doesn't look like this, but it could. It very well could. So it says here adjustable difficulty advanced. Okay, so this is advanced stuff for adjustable difficulty, and it has game speed. You can slow down the game for a limited amount of time or only when performing specific actions. This is interesting to me for a couple of reasons. One, the main reason, guys, first of all, game speed isn't new to college football, okay? It's not new at all. Okay, so what you're looking at here is just a video that I found on YouTube, guys, the Gaming Tailgate. And he showcases, remember, the game speed in college football games. You could literally go into the settings and you can adjust. It was game speed, and then you had the minimum speed threshold, two different things. Okay. And I'll put a link to this video in I'll put it in the description box. Okay. That y'all can go and check this video out, because it goes through the very slow, normal, fast, and very fast. And what it does is it literally speeds up the game. Okay. It doesn't, however, speed up the clock. The clock runs the same, but the players on the field move faster. And what it does is it causes you, the player, to have to react faster. Because what me and my brother used to do, we would put it on Heisman, which was the toughest difficulty, and we would turn the game speed up to very fast. Why? Because your reaction time has to be just like that. Now, my ideal speed was fast. Now, in previous renditions of the game, this is in 14 right here, but very fast was very, very fast. In NCAA 14, fast to me was a good speed, a good balance. The game didn't feel slow, because on normal, to me, the game just felt too slow. Does that make sense? I wanted the game to play a little bit faster. Now, whenever Mike Straw talked about college playing faster than Madden, this is not what he was talking about. College football plays faster than Madden simply because you have more big plays, okay? And things like a receiver only needs 1 foot in bounds for a catch to be secure. The game plays faster because the skill gap is so much wider in college football than it is in Madden, in the NFL. And people don't understand that, because people say, well, everybody's fast in the NFL. Everybody's quick. Everybody's strong. Exactly. So the skill gap even isn't as big. So you're not going to see as many big time plays. Very rarely in the NFL do you see anybody put up 70-something points. In college, it's almost every other weekend somebody's scoring 50, 60 points. Why? Because college football is a faster paced game than the NFL, because of the skill gap being as big, so guys can load up on points. A faster game doesn't mean so much that the game it finishes quicker than, say, an NFL game. The speed of a college game is just faster. Okay, there's not as much time between plays on average as it is in the NFL. It's a faster playing game. The plays don't take as long to run. There's not, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of other factors that goes into it, but I have to digress. Point being, game speed has been a thing in college football games, including NCAA 14, and I don't see that changing. I know people may ask, why is this not in Madden? Honestly, guys, I don't have a clue. The only thing that I can speculate as to why EA Sports didn't put game speed in the newer Maddens, because if I'm not mistaken, I think game speed was in the older Maddens. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, but I have to digress. Game speed not being in Madden makes sense because Madden it really has more reads and pre-snap reads, and then too, it's a slower playing game at the end of the day. So it makes sense for them not to put game speed in the game. Game speed is even in the 2K games. I think it was in the NBA Live games where you could speed up, the game itself, how fast the players actually move. So it would actually make them faster. But I thought that was extremely interesting that they would have game speed there. Now, the thing that threw me for a loop was that they're talking about you can slow down the game for a limited amount of time, or only when performing specific actions. So maybe game speed being basic allows that. And I don't know if this is a Road to Glory feature or a main game feature. I don't know. But it's interesting, to say the least, that you can slow down the game or only when performing specific actions, So I mean, we're thinking the zone button may be coming back. I don't know. Let me know y'all speculations down in the comment section down below, guys. Like I said, happy to be able to drop this video. Tomorrow we're going to be talking defense, and then I also have another college football video for y'all. Y'all are really loving the playbook stuff, and I'm loving to be able to bring it. I've even had somebody ask about team-specific playbooks, including Sarkisian's RPOs, which I'll have a video for RPOs as well. Like, all of that stuff is coming up, man. So just make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Click the bell icon so you don't miss anything at all. You know what I'm saying? I love bringing y'all this content. I love the support. Thank y'all. Till next time. Thanks for watching. And I'm gonna leave y'all with how EA is gonna be with Madden when college football drop.
We just fired the person that does that, but now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.